Okay, y'all, so I have a confession. I have been stuck in this constant loop of watching the same shows and movies over and over and over again. And I don't know if I'm mentally ill, if it's ADHD, PTSD, whatever. I don't know what it is, but it's like, why do I keep rewatching the same stuff over and over again? And 9 times out of 10, it's going to be some type of old school cartoon like Hey Arnold, All Real Monsters, Rugrats, As Told by Ginger, and then throw a couple of old school movies in there. But that is what I feel the most, or I feel the most comfortable when I'm watching old childish shows or old movies. Like, I don't know, but I decided that I wanted to do a video on it because maybe, it can help me kind of figure out what the heck is going on, and maybe y'all can relate. So let's get to it.
All right, y'all, I had to run and get my old boot camp hoodie, but before we get started, if you hear any banging, it is because my house is being worked on. And then number 2, if you see me looking down, it's because I brought notes. I wanted to do my due diligence and provide y'all with as much information as I possibly could. With that being said, let's get into it. So I was able to come up with a total of 11 different reasons as to why we watch the same shows over and over again. And so the first one is going to be comfort and familiarity. I can never say that word. The show makes you comfortable and you're familiar with it, okay? And so basically this concept is just like seeking out comfort food. Think about like your favorite meal, your go-to meal that is just going to wipe away all your pain and sorrows. Like for me, it's definitely going to be a plate of hot wings on a Friday night, watching some type of horror movie. I'm on my couch, I have my cats, and everything is all well in the world, and all my bills are paid. Everything is just like perfect in that moment. And then as soon as that movie goes off and those chicken wings are ate up, I'm back in reality, which really sucks. But anyways, yeah, you're watching the same show over and over again because it's familiar and it's making you comfortable. Number 2 is probably a given, which is nostalgia. Now let's take a quick trip down memory lane. Do y'all remember back in the day, I think it might have been ABC. They did the TGIF like on Friday. So the lineup was like Home Improvement, Family Matters, maybe Drew Carey's Whose Line Is It Anyway? And what else? A couple of other shows. And then the following morning, they had one Saturday morning. Do y'all remember that? Oh my God. The 90s, man, it was just the strong emotional ties that the 90s have on me is just, I can't even explain it. I wish we could go back. That's all I'm gonna say. But Family Matters, Boy Meets World, Roseanne, Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Oh my gosh. Okay. Nostalgia. Clearly nostalgia is going to be the number 2 reason. Let me move on before I get sidetracked. And then number 3 is low cognitive load. Now, every now and then I can watch a show that has a very complex storyline and I'm engaged and I'm following along and I found my character that I can identify with and all is well in the show. But every now and then, I don't want to be doing all of that. And one of the shows that I struggled with watching, don't tell my husband, was Game of Thrones and even House of Dragons, y'all. So for the longest, I've had to pretend that I liked Game of Thrones. I liked the show, but I kind of didn't because it was just so complex. There's so many families. There's so many storylines and characters and dragons and just people all gunning for the throne and these battles and somebody did this and this person did that. It's just too much. So if you've worked Monday through Friday, 10 plus hours a day, you don't want to have to be sitting and trying to figure out stuff. And it's just with when we rewatch shows, we can just put it on, multitask. It's like background noise, and it just helps us decompress after a long day versus trying to figure out who killed what and who had sex with who. And like, it's just too much. It's too much. Next is going to be emotional connection. So basically, rewatching whatever show allows you to relive emotional moments. What is a show? And let me know below, what's a show or a movie that you guys have rewatched several times, and every time you watch it, it just evokes a certain emotion. Like maybe it makes you cry, maybe it makes you really happy, maybe it makes you really sad, or better yet, let's pretend it's opposite day. Tell me a show or a movie that you watched that you would never watch again because of the emotions that it evoked, and why is it precious? Next is going to be control and stability. So we rewatch shows to regain some sense of control. And so, especially with these times where you just don't know if you should save money, if you should spend it, if you should buy a house, sell your house, buy a car, not buy a car. Like everything is just so uncertain. It's very easy to just put on a show where you already know, again, what's going to happen. It's like you just already know. And so it gives you comfort in knowing that, okay, this little time that I'm spending watching this show, it's comforting me, it's making me stable, I can control what's happening. Like if a scary scene is supposed to pop up, I know it's going to pop up, I can still choose to fast forward. Like I'm just in control of the remote control. And then where are we at? Oh, number 6 is revisiting layers and details. So sometimes when we go back and watch shows, we come across certain Easter eggs, clever writing, character development, and that really makes rewatching the show rewarding because we're able to catch things the second, fourth, fifth time around that we didn't catch the first time around. And for example, I am rewatching Family Matters, and I remember watching that show as a kid and always thinking that, oh my gosh, Steve is so annoying. He is the problem. I can't stand Steve. Oh, he really gets on my nerves. But then I went back and I started watching, and I was like, you know what? I don't really think that Steve is the problem. Laura is the problem, and she's always been the problem. And I'm not even speaking specifically to their teen and young adult years. I'm talking like when she was like 12, she was an issue. Do y'all remember that episode where I think the family was having a yard sale, or maybe it was just Laura trying to earn extra money. She was trying to earn extra money, whether it be a yard sale or somehow. But anyways, trying to earn extra money. And if I'm not mistaken, she is cleaning out the attic or cleaning out a closet or something. And she comes across the family quilt. And so she goes to Mother Winslow, I believe, or Mother Winslow sees that she has the quilt, and she's like, oh my goodness, you found our family quilt. It's been in our family for hundreds of years. It has all these incredible patches, and it's basically this physical thing of our entire family history. And so Laura's like, oh, okay, blah, blah, blah. Okay, great. Like she just totally disregards everything that Mother Winslow says. And she ends up selling the quilt. And that shit had me heated. Excuse my language. But she sells the quilt. And of course the family finds out about it because she got the money. She got paid for it. And basically she has to go to the person that she sold it to, and who went with her? I think it might have been her mom, maybe. I think so. They have to go to the lady that purchased the quilt and give this whole story about how Laura didn't listen to Mother Winslow. And basically the lady's like, I ain't really trying to sell y'all the quilt back. It's beautiful. And like, it was just a hot ass mess. But eventually they did get the quilt back. But it's just like, you did a couple of things in this show that I didn't like. And everybody had us believing that Steve was the issue, but it really wasn't. It was really you. I know I was really long-winded, but y'all get what I'm trying to say. Number 7 is going to be escapism. So this concept is kind of similar to the other reasons I have mentioned, but rewatching a show over and over again, or the same show over and over again, gives you a mental break from your daily life. So I know for me personally, that show is always going to be Hey Arnold. So even when I was working my super stressful job and would be on the brink of tears after work, the only thing that would really seem to calm me down was putting on an episode of Hey Arnold and just kind of zoning out. It's a form of like safe escapism. Like, you ain't running away from home or doing nothing crazy like that. You're just sitting on your couch with your cat, hopefully, and you're just zoning out. And then so let's see. We're actually almost done, y'all. Number 8 is going to be routine and habit. So this concept is like similar to a bedtime story. It's like your ritual. And again, for me, that's going to be Hey Arnold. So I know at the end of the day, I can take my shower. Of course, after all my motherly duties are done, take my shower, get in my bed and put on an episode of Hey Arnold and just go to sleep. And then even in the morning, I watch cartoons in the morning too, y'all. I'm not a childish person. I'm a grown up. But like I said before, it's just so much easier for me to watch things that I'm familiar with. And I don't know, I like it. Maybe I have an issue. I need a psychiatrist or psychologist. Number 9 is going to be social connection. So basically, watching and rewatching the same shows together creates a shared experience that can bring people closer, especially through nostalgia or common interests. This is probably more prevalent through the holidays. I know for us, our holiday movies are Nightmare Before Christmas. There's a couple of other, Home Alone. And it's basically like bridging generations, because it's my husband and I watching, and now our kids are watching, and it's just kind of become a tradition. And then of course, number 10 is stress relief, which I think we've hit on that a couple of times. It's just helping you decompress and relax after a long day. And then number 11 is going to be reinforcement of values or lessons. For example, do y'all remember that episode of The Simpsons where Bart Simpson sold his soul? Now, when I watched that...
Okay, y'all, so let me clarify really quickly. So it wasn't when he was going to school. It was in fact when she was putting him to sleep at night. And so that's the clip that y'all are seeing right here. I just wanted to throw that in. My bad. Okay, now go back and watch.
As a kid, I was just like, okay. Well, I mean, Bart, he's a pretty bad kid. So, I mean, I wasn't surprised that that's what he did. But then as I went back and rewatched it as a grown-up, I was like, wow, this is a pretty serious episode. It's a pretty deep episode, because when he first went to school, Marge would hug him and she would give him a big old tight giant hug, and she would say like, oh, I love my baby boy, or something like that, or whatever. And then after he sold it, when she would go and hug him again, he felt empty to her. And I was like, oh my goodness, like, that's kind of deep for a cartoon. But yeah, so those were my reasons. I was trying not to ramble, guys. If I did, I'm sorry. But yeah, those are reasons as to why we rewatch the same shows over and over again. And definitely let me know below, what are some of those shows or movies, or even songs. We didn't talk about music, but even songs. Let me know, what are some of the things that you find yourself repetitively watching and listening to, and just let me know how it makes you feel, because I mean, I don't know, maybe we all have issues. I don't know. I'm about to go. I'll see y'all later. Bye.